Hello friends, it is Jill here. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I am an entrepreneur, author, and illustrator, and my channel is dedicated to sharing with you guys the process of growing my business from the ground phase up. So I had 12 days alone in my home this past week and a half while my husband was in New York, and I set a lot of goals for myself. In fact, I pinned them to my desk. They were literally pinned right here. Well, I shouldn't say pinned, they're sticky notes. And you can see goal number 4, finish book 4 manuscript, is still stuck there. The others have wound up on my to-do list from last week because they were completed. So one thing I've learned in my early phase of entrepreneurship is that it was much harder to set goals in the beginning because forming a business is almost like forming something out of clay. Like you start with just your idea and you kind of have nothing at first. And gradually over time, over the past couple months, things have started to take shape. For me, it actually took me over 2 months to be able to write real to-do lists that made sense, that I was able to execute on week over week, because it just seemed like making to-do lists was a moving target in the beginning. And same with setting goals. It just seemed like even if I tried to say, I want to do X this week, sometimes in those beginning phases, you just find that other things come up or you have to reprioritize. So now my workflow, well, first of all, I have a workflow that exists. That is a win. Having to-do lists is a win. And what I'm finding is that now that I have a real workflow, I can actually set goals that are not only attainable, but that they also make sense. I'm finding that I have fewer surprises as I move forward, which is a good thing right now. I do love some surprises some of the time, but right now my workflow is getting predictable. And because it became predictable and it has a rhythm to it, I am now able to set these goals. So I am going to work on my final goal that I had set last week, because I really had hoped that I would finish everything, all those 4 by the time my husband got home, just so I could say, hey, look what I finished. But anyway, the one is still tacked there. So I'm going to work on that now, and then I'm going to report back when I record myself again tomorrow, and then we're going to cover the goals that I'm setting for the next week or week and a half. So all right, you guys, we are 1 chapter away. However, I'm taking a break because here's the thing. I've now been working all afternoon on my manuscript, and I cranked out all of chapter 21, and honestly, I could keep going, but I think it's actually better to take a pause. I would rather sort of let the story ruminate for a day and come back to it tomorrow to finish it, and instead work on some illustrations this afternoon. By the way, excuse the line on my face. I took a brief nap and accidentally creased my face on my pillow, and now I realize I'm recording with the fan directly on my head. That's super awesome. Anyway, let me adjust my angle and come back. Okay, so you remember my goals from the previous week and a half. I'm gonna just insert that clip again right here real quick. Okay, I just did this. I put up 4 sticky notes with goals for this week. Now, mind you, it is just after lunchtime on Tuesday, and I'm giving myself all the way until Sunday to finish these goals. Okay, so as you know, goals 1 through 3 are completed, and I just spoke to goal 4. But the other day, I took the time to dig into my desk and get my little Post-it notes out again, and I have new goals for the coming week, even though today is a Thursday, so who cares? I don't mind if I'm starting my new goals at the end of the week. My work week is continuous. It's whenever I want it to be. So goal number 1, research product types, pick 3 to 4. So as you guys know, I'm going to be developing a product line for the characters in my books. And I have a whole bunch of YouTubers who are especially influential to me because these women have businesses similar to the one I want to build. Not necessarily book characters, but essentially they're designing a product universe around their artwork, and some of them do have characters, just not from books they've written, just, characters they design for the specific purpose of making a product line. So I'm going to visit the websites of these wonderful women and check out which products of theirs I like the best, just in a general sense. Like, for instance, I think I'm going to start with easy stuff like bookmarks, possibly art prints. And it's funny because my business coach suggested plushies, and I was like, wow, way to choose the most difficult thing of all. So I'm not starting with plushies, but I am going to pick 3 to 4 things to start with so that soon I can actually start designing products of my own. All right, I'm going to stick that up there. Goal number 2 is to research print-on-demand websites that have Shopify integration option. So I do not want to pack and ship my own products. I think it's a beautiful, wonderful thing when artists actually take the time to pack and ship like handcrafted boxes with their own branded tissue paper and packing tape and, you know, personalized notes to their customers. However, packing and shipping is just not something I'm interested in doing. And also I'm hoping to have be able to have a larger product line that pumps through a print-on-demand service so that I can actually have hopefully a higher volume in a shorter amount of time. Maybe that's an overly ambitious goal, but that's okay. I'll figure it out as I go. All right, that one's going up. Goal number 3, edit and proofread book number 4 and then send it to my editor. Well, obviously I can't start or do this one until I finish writing the manuscript, but like I said, that should be done by tomorrow. So I'm going to put this up for next week. It's always a good idea to just take a break between finishing the manuscript and then starting to read it over again. So that's not something I would want to start until Monday anyway. And goal number 4, work on chapter 6 sketches for my 3rd book. Now, I'm writing book 4, I'm illustrating book 3. So if you've been following along, you know that I just finished illustrating chapter 4. That one had 7 illustrations to it. It has more illustrations than any other chapter in the book. And I already did chapter 5 because that one only has 1. So chapter 6, I believe, has 2 illustrations. I actually might feel like starting this right now. Just because, I don't know, I'm actually at the point where I feel like drawing, which is a good thing if I'm not like pushing myself to do it. So up this one goes, even though now I have 2 goal number 4s, but I'm fine with that. All right, so let's review. All right, so this is where I'm starting. And we'll check in on progress as the week and next week progress. All right. Hey everyone, it is Monday morning. I did not record myself over the weekend because I needed a little break. And I'm actually recording myself right now because I'm like kind of falling asleep at my desk. I need to get up and walk around or something. So I was like, let me just talk to the camera first and then I will move on with my day. I have completed the first goal of the week. This was a small one. Researching product types and picking 3 or 4 to start with for my product shop. So basically what I did was I went to the websites of the women whose businesses I've admired on YouTube for a very long time, made note of all the products that they carry that I also want to carry. And again, these are just ideas. It's not like I'm copying any one person's shop. I just want to see what other character-based products are kind of out there and that people want. So I made a list of all the things that I want to eventually have in my product shop, and then I picked these 4 to start with. And yes, I'm letting you right into my notebook here with my product brainstorm. I'm going to start with journals and journal sketchbooks. I actually have these on Amazon already, but I want to either do them as spiral bound or just better paper inside of them because Amazon's print-on-demand paper is not the best of quality, especially for sketchbooks, but I do have the covers designed, like the artwork is done. Then I want to move into art prints because I have a lot of illustrations from back in the day, like full page ones that can be turned into posters. I even have old calendars that I made for my family, paintings that I can photograph and digitize. Then I want to do sticker sheets and finally bookmarks. So these are going to be my first 4 starting goal products. And my next goal for this week is to research print-on-demand websites that integrate with Wix. My husband explained I don't need a Shopify integration. I already have a Wix site and they have their own shopping platform that I can work with. So I am going to see what print-on-demand websites will be the best fit for the 4 products I want to start with. So, hello again, friends. It is Wednesday and I am not doing a weekly Wins Wednesday this week for 2 reasons. One, my voice is giving out on me again. I'm sure you can hear it, so I apologize. The second reason is because next Wednesday is basically the halfway point of the year, and I'm intending to do a video evaluating how far I've come in the past 6 months and sort of tallying up my larger wins for the first half of the year. In the meantime, I completed another goal, actually, I think on Monday. I just didn't film yesterday, or I should say I didn't record yesterday. There's no film involved these days. But I researched print-on-demand websites through ChatGPT to see what would be best supported by the Wix shopping interface, which is what my website will do. And I must say, although ChatGPT and AI can be a double-edged sword, as we all know, I think it's very good for technical research because it saved me a lot of time of just having to look at all these print-on-demand websites myself and see if they had what I want to be able to sell. So I made a lot of decisions. Hang on, I'm going to show you my notebook. So I forget if I showed you guys this page. I basically went to the websites of the women whose businesses I've been following on YouTube over the past couple years and wrote down the products that appealed to me the most. And then I did my own little product brainstorm. And finally, I printed out some of the ChatGPT notes on Printful and Printify, which are going to be my go-tos as far as the print-on-demand support. And with that, I should be diving into actually designing my products, but I've had a bit of a topsy-turvy week so far just because my Monday and Tuesday I had more things on my plate in my personal life than I usually do, so I didn't really have hours and hours to sit at my desk and start drawing products out. So I am currently working on goal number 3. I don't want to take it down yet because it's not done, but it says goal 3, edit and proofread book number 4 and send it to my editors. So that is my main goal for right now because I want to get it to her on or before Friday, most likely by end of day Friday. So I'm doing my first editing and proofreading pass. And again, ChatGPT is great for little grammatical questions and finding grammatical errors. If I put in a paragraph and say, hey, something doesn't sound right, is there a mistake in here? And I'll be honest, I only use it for that kind of stuff. I don't ask it to rewrite my wording. I want it to sound like entirely my voice. But when it comes to really nitty gritty stuff like comma usage or like em dash usage and things like that, I'll put in a sentence and be like, hey, do I have this right? And it's really a good tool for that. So that being said, I'm going to continue. I am about a third of the way through my editing pass, and we're going to see how far I can get by the end of the day. Here goes another one. Okay, so I'm finally on camera because before, when I showed that I was taking down goal number 3 for the week, I was actually still in pajamas. I was so fixated on getting that particular goal accomplished that I didn't even get dressed until it was done today. So it's almost the end of the day now. The only goal I have left for the week is to work on my chapter 6 sketches. And I wrote work on. I really intended to hopefully finish them, but I really haven't been able to touch those yet, and it is Thursday afternoon. So that is my plan for tomorrow. And I do want to make this video a little more interesting than just me tearing Post-it notes off my desk and talking to the camera. So I'm going to work on that. I do want to feature some artwork, of course. So I also have on my slate to work on this video and make a timeline for it and everything. So let's see how far I get with that, and I'll catch up with you guys again very soon. Okay, Friday, late morning. Here we go with the illustrations for chapter 6. I made sure to get all my administrative work done last night after I recorded my final segment of the day for this video, but I'm ready to hit the ground running. I cannot wait, and I can't wait to show you guys what I'm able to crank out today. Okay, so this is literally as far as I got last week with the first of the 2 chapter 6 drawings. It's part of Peanut here, and she's going to be featured with Brownie, Dandelion, and Caramel. And the caption is going to be, "Show us what you got, new girls." Caramel challenged jovially as she flashed a signature smile over her shoulder at Dandelion. So that's what I'm going to be working on this afternoon. Okay, the good news is Peanut is complete here. The bad news is I drew the start of this next girl, Caramel, and I just didn't like it's a cute face, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with it, except I want her to look more like this horrible little pencil sketch here. I want her to look like she's looking over her shoulder that way with her ears kind of flipping behind her, almost like a ponytail. It's just not hitting for me with this one, so now I've got to start over. Thanks for that. Okay, So I abandoned Caramel for now since she was frustrating me, and I drew Dandelion instead. I like the way she came out, but you can see there's a note here, shorter than Peanut. Again, this one's Peanut on the left. So I just have to shrink her a tiny bit once she's digitized, because I just need to make sure that for continuity throughout the series that Dandelion is one of the shortest characters. And it's a really easy function to do on the iPad, whereas if I wanted to shrink her here and now, I'd literally have to erase her and start over. Okay, moment of truth here, because I've got 3 of the 4 characters drawn, and then I still have my cute little floating head, but I think the only way to make this drawing work is if I just erase her current face completely and redraw her at the angle that I want her to be at. I feel like if I try to draw her on another page, it's just not gonna work. Okay. Also, I feel like I'm shaking the camera in a bad way when I'm trying to do this. Oh my goodness. Sorry, guys. Sorry, audience. All right, I put the pink gum eraser to work, and I think I'm ready to proceed. So the redo was totally worth it because I just love how her personality comes through in the redesign. She totally has the tilt her head back over the shoulder, brush off kind of look. And of course, since she's a dog, she doesn't have hair, but she kind of looks like she's flipping her hair. She's just sort of flipping her ears actually, but I love it. I'm glad I redid her. And here's the full sketch. Okay, this is the awkward part because I'm going to scan this into my iPad just by simply taking a photograph of it with my iPad. However, it's kind of clunky to do it this way. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like this is the most awkward camera on the face of the planet, but you know what? It's also the fastest road to achieving what I want to achieve. All right, so. Got it. Oops, I'm not sure I can get it to show the right way up for you guys. It's going to keep turning, but I can fix that off camera, and I will come back once this is getting digitized. Hello everyone, happy Saturday. I'm hopping on here really quick to report that I finished digitizing the first of 2 illustrations for chapter 6 of my 3rd book, so I'm going to show that to you right now. Hello. I love the way this one turned out. I'm going to head into the shower though because today happens to be my wedding anniversary and I have a date to get ready for. Editing Jill here to pop in and show you guys this illustration as it appears in the layout file because I forgot to record that the other day. And also the rest of this video is a tiny bit rushed just because it was my anniversary weekend. I didn't record on Sunday and today I just hit the ground running as you're about to see. Status update Monday afternoon. The second and final sketch for chapter 6 is now complete and I just have to digitize it. Oh, someone wants to be in on the action again. Okay, ma'am, you actually can't stay there. We need you to move. Mommy needs to work on that exact spot. Can we move, please? Perfect. Stay right there. Well, finally, those are done. Here is the second illustration for chapter 6, and here it is in my layout file ready to go. Now, admittedly, I was so fixated on getting this drawing done today that I didn't really film much of the process as far as, getting a shot of me working on it. I really just wanted to focus on finishing the tasks so that I could also finish my goal list from last week and finish this video. So that's where I'm at. Next up, I will be working on the very first product designs ever for my company. So I'm super excited to share that with you guys. And as far as goals go, one of the things I do want to do is evaluate how many illustrations I have left for book 3. I believe my count is 37, and I want to sort of come up with a plan as far as how quickly I need to be generating these if I want to still meet my self-imposed deadline of publishing this book before the end of the year. So I'm going to be working on that off camera, but my next video will be focused more on artwork and just witnessing the process as I embark on product design next week. So that being said, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here as always. And if I may ask you to please like, comment, subscribe, and of course on the end screen you can check out my website and or my Instagram, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks again, everyone. Now,